I have a confession to make. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. After 23 years of life, almost 24, God, I have only just watched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Okay, calm down now, everyone put their pitchforks down. I have a very reasonable explanation for this. Throughout my entire life, I was under the impression I had already seen these movies, but I thought I watched them very, very young, because my childhood friend Tig, if you're watching this, I apologise, is obsessed with Lord of the Rings. So I could have sworn somewhere along the line I seen some of these movies with him, but apparently not. But I'm a changed man now. I am cultured. I have seen all 3 movies, 2 of them back to back. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are here to see if I'm going to badmouth the movies or say anything bad about them, or you are genuinely curious about what I thought about the movies for the first time. Now, the quick answer is, I really enjoyed them. They were very good movies. They were well put together. The CGI and everything like that, or the fucking special effects in general, was really like on par, if not better than some of the shit we see today. She-Hulk. Oh, damn. Seems I have a bad cough, guys. I must have caught the Black Plague. It's the only explanation for why that fucking show came out of my lips. So yes, the simple answer is I really enjoyed these movies, especially the third one. The third one is definitely my favourite of the bunch. I really, really liked that one. However, I didn't really have many strong feelings about the first one, and that's not to say it's bad. I have my own personal reasons for this. The first one was the one I knew the most about. I saw so many videos and documentaries growing up about the Lord of the Rings trilogy, again because I thought I saw them, given loads of information, like if you watch the movies back to back to back, the score kind of like blends together and stuff like that. That was a really cool detail, actually. And before I start this sentence, I am terrible with names that aren't simple. You know, I know Frodo, I know Gandalf, I know Sam, Pippin, Merry, Aragorn, Boromir, Legolas, you know, the main squad I know, but the rest? Gone. So don't shout at me in the comments. That white wizard that Gandalf has a fight with and ends up siding with Sauron to help him build his army, where the fuck was he? Like, he was in the first movie and the second movie for a little bit, but after those tree fuckers stomped in and fucked up his entire camp, they just say he locked himself in his tower and won't come down. I haven't seen from him since. Did I just miss something? Was there a fight that I just didn't get to see? Maybe the version on the streaming service was edited for some weird reason, but I just don't get it. What? Like, he was such a big character. Why don't we get to see him die? He was the good gone bad. Where was the resolution there? He just locks himself in his tower like fucking Rapunzel and lives happily ever after? If I'm wrong, and there is a scene that happens in and I just missed it, apologies. But if not, what the fuck? Another thing that I really enjoyed from the first movies that I actually didn't know about, it was one of the things in that movie I had no clue about. I'm gonna look up the name of them now before I get shouted at, because I should know this. They were cool. The Nazgul. The ring rates does not ring a bell whatsoever. But yeah, I guess the Nazgul, the guys who were sent after Frodo to get the ring back, they were fucking sick. I really liked the detail that we found out later on in that movie that the Nazgul are actually the original ring bearers. The 9 people who got the original rings of power. That in and of itself is pretty fucking fabulous, I must say. But like, after they find Aragorn and then they are on top of a mountain just like camping out and somebody lights a fire because they're fucking dimwits, all of the hobbits are surrounded by these fuckers. Surrounded. These entities that cannot die and that they were obviously good swordsmen back in their day. How are the hobbits alive? How did they even make it? Like what? They stabbed Frodo once. What about the rest of them? There are fucking 9 of you cunts. What were the rest of them doing? I know Aragorn came eventually and fended them off and, you know, did his thing. And I understand that the Nazgul's only purpose is to find the ring. So I can understand why they didn't kill the other hobbits. If there are people purposely in your way, trying to stop you from getting to that ring, why didn't they just kill them? I know I'm going on a huge tangent here talking about why didn't they kill the main characters, you know, it's stupid. But the one thing I need to give props to this movie that they done fucking excellently is not only the character development was fucking top tier in this series. You know I'm a sucker for character development. I loved the battle scenes, and I feel like that was the main draw of these movies 100%. But the battle scenes were fucking phenomenal. But like every single fight scene, I can remember so much of it. Like Aragorn's first encounter with those fucking cloaked cunts. Them going into the dungeon and fending off all of the fucking, like, whatever they're called. I don't know the name of them. I know they're not orcs. But the baddies, you know? It was just sick. And then that big giant beast that chased them down, that Gandalf done the infamous line to. I was waiting the entire movie for that. You shall not pass. I was so ready. I was so ready. Every time I seen him in like an intense situation, I was like, he's gonna do it. He's gonna say the thing. The whole battle scene when they were trying to defend Rohan, it was all so sick. And I really, really enjoyed watching them trying to save Gondor. I don't know, something about that battle just was better to me. I don't know what it is. I don't know the reason why. Maybe it was because I was deeper into the world. But something about it, man, I just loved it. Like, I loved the fucking General Orc who was just standing there watching the boulder come towards his face, and then he just nonchalantly steps to the side. I fucking loved it. That was so cool. Because he was there telling the other fuckers not to move whenever the boulders were coming towards them. And then I thought he was actually just going to take it on the chin and die. But then he just steps to the side. I was like, oh, you cheeky little bastard. But during that fight in Gondor, the thing that I found fucking hilarious, it was so funny to me, was when like the step-in king thought that his son died after, you know, he fucking sent him to his death. Like, excuse me? Why are you sad? He told you they will die. Like, he told you they were outnumbered, and then he comes back and you're like, no, my son. You killed him. You did it. You told him to go out and fight. Oh, whatever. Then he tries to be all ceremonial by like fucking pouring oil all over himself and then lighting himself and his son on fire. But there's two things I found really funny about that. First of all, there was fire on the fucking thing that was lathered in oil, flammable oil, I'm assuming, for ages. So long. My man that was still lying there dead. Well, dead. While the fire was burning around him. He is covered in flammable oil. Excuse me? And then Mary, I think, Mary or Pippin, I can't remember, I always mix them two up, jumps on top of the guy and rolls him off through the fire. Like, what? It made no sense to me, because when I seen him put the flames down, I was like, oh, he actually has gone and done it. But no, neither him nor his son caught flames at all. But then, the cherry on top, Gandalf just kicks him onto the fire again because he was being a bit silly. And I swear to God, this fire must have performance issues or something, because it still did not engulf the man until he saw his son open his eyes. Soon as that happened, boom, in a burst of flame instantly. Like, like, I get you were going to save the general or whatever, like fucking the king's son. Was the intent not to also save the other guy? I feel like it would have been. He proved me very wrong when he just fucking Spartan kicked him onto the fire again. Then he just runs off the castle in a flame ball. That was funny. But I love the final battle in Gondor. It was so cool, especially when they were starting to get absolutely fucking bumfucked. And then Rohan steps up to the plate, coming in with a bunch of troops to save the fucking day. Like, I'm not making fun of these things, okay? Every movie has their little, like, plot holes, I guess. I don't think you could even call them plot holes. It's just, like, plot conveniences. But this is comical. How fucking convenient this was. Talking about the part where after Gollum sends Frodo into that spider, which I'm not afraid of spiders, but ew, I hated every fucking second of that scene. Every part of it, from every time that thing was on screen, I was uncomfortable. I'm not afraid of spiders. I hate the big hairy ones though. If it is a spider that could physically eat me whole, I'm good. But it was after he gets like poisoned by the fucking spider and gets like wrapped up in the web, which, no. That scene in of itself, I hate it. After he gets taken away by the bad boys, brought to the center of Mordor, I'm assuming, or maybe a safe house of Mordor, and is seemingly trapped because there is hundreds of Mordorians around. But how convenient is it that, like, they started fighting over a piece of Frodo's clothing, which then turned into an all-out war on the premises, which basically killed all of them? How convenient for Sam to get to the doors only to see everyone's dead. I remember seeing that scene and that when he was trapped in that place, and I was like, oh, how do they get out of here? Like, I was genuinely baffled at the thought of how they could even possibly get him out. Maybe he like escapes by putting the ring on, but then at the same time I was like, they are after the ring. So if he had the ring on him, the ring's definitely gone now, right? But another reason why Sam's the GOAT, he took it off him. What a legend. So thinking about it like that, I genuinely think that the way they done it in the movie was the only possible way for it to happen. Because the rest of the squad, like Legolas and fucking Aragorn and all them, were miles away fighting their own battle. So in the context of the story, there was literally nothing else that could be done. So don't take this in a way that I'm like making fun of all these things and trying to make fun of the movie. The last one was my favorite. I absolutely adore the last one, just based on how many like plot twists and turns and everything that was in it, the battles, fucking everything about it I loved, because I didn't expect anything. And I love that when a movie subverts my expectations, because when I'm watching a movie, I am always thinking of how that scene is going to play out, or like trying to guess how the movie's going to end. And a lot of the time, I can either see the plot twists coming, or I guess the end of the movie like about halfway through the movie, you know? And that's not a fun way to watch movies. So seeing this movie with how many like little intricate little plot twists, even if they're not like huge differences to the story, it's very fun for me, you know? Like, I like being proved wrong. I love it. It's like, whoa, there was a different possible outcome than my brain could come up with? That's fucking sick. So I'm not bad-mouthing the movies whatsoever. I fucking loved them. And last but not least, one thing that I really enjoyed was seeing the aftermath. I was hoping that it wasn't just going to be like, oh, they completed their task, Frodo just gets left at home, movie ends, you know? That would have been a bit bittersweet, if I'm being honest. But I really liked how they did do it, how they, like, you see them return home for the first time. They're in the bar having drinks and they're all just looking around, and they kind of just feel out of place in their own town. You can see it on their face. They have seen so much. They know what is going on outside this fucking place. They have seen more than pretty much every fucking hobbit in that room in the span of a year. And you see that Frodo is struggling to kind of like adjust back into his life as a hobbit. I love the line that he says. I don't know a word for word, but he says something along the lines of like, oh, how do you go back to the way things used to be? And then he just says, you don't go back to the way things were, you know? You can't. I love seeing Sam's little montage where you had like, he got married to the girl finally. Especially like, I loved when he was sitting in the bar and he just looks over at her and doesn't even hesitate. My man just goes for it. That shows how much this has changed these fuckers, man. Such a juxtaposition from like one of the first scenes you see him in. He is scared to go up and talk to this woman. He doesn't want to. He's terrified. I can relate. I'm scared of women too. And then just to end it off, even though it was such a small detail in the original movie, to end it off with him going up and asking her out and just talking to her, and then it working out for him, getting married, having kids and stuff. Fucking great. That's how you know that these movies were written with care. Okay, last thing. This is definitely the last thing before the end. I'm sorry. I'm just remembering things as I'm doing this and it just keeps going on and on and on. I'm sorry. After Aragorn got crowned king and he goes up to the hobbits and they bow to him, and he turns around and is like, no, my friends, you bow to no one. And then everyone bows and starts cheering and applauding for them. I cried. It got me. It fucking hit me with a side sweep, man. Out of everything in the movie, fuck me, that hit. And even just seeing all of their reactions, it's like, damn, this is the first time I've ever been taller than somebody. Like, nah, really heartwarming stuff. Again, I'm very ashamed of myself that it took me this long to watch these movies, but again, I thought I saw them, okay? Again, let me know what you think of the movies down below, and if you have any recommendations on how I can make these videos better for you lot, let me know down below as well. If you're new here and you like my face, make sure to check out the channel. There's a whole different variety of content that I'm sure you will like. And subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and if we get there, I'm going to be jumping out of a plane. Fun! But yeah, folks, with that all said, it's been EXO. I'll talk to you all later. Have a good one, folks.